Hi there everybody, this is Ryan with In Frame Reviews, and I'm here to talk to you today about the Soundcore Icon. It was billed by the Soundcore marketing people as a fun-proof speaker. I like to think of myself as a guy that likes to have fun, so I said, challenge accepted. Let's see if it'll stand the kind of fun that I like to have. So the first thing I did was go on a bike ride. You can see there I'm about to go up to the top of that mountain. And I wanted to tie it to the back of the bike and drag it along behind on the ground. So as you can see, there's a lot of rocks and stuff on this path, and it's not exactly a friendly path for anything to be pulled along. Now, don't try this at home. In defense, the Soundcore Icon comes with a note that says avoid dropping, but as you can see, after being dragged along behind the bike, it's just fine. It was still playing. There was nothing wrong with it, other than some cosmetic damage. So I moved up the mountain and I got all the way to the top and I encountered a rainstorm. So I decided, hey, I'll get some super slow-mo of the Soundcore Icon getting rained on. So here that is. You can see there's some rain happening there, and there's a drop that's going to drop right here, boom, right on the Soundcore Icon, and no problem at all. Of course, it's a fully waterproof speaker, and so that's a really good thing. And then it was time for me to head down the mountain. So I strapped the Soundcore Icon to my handlebars, and I started down the mountain. Now this is a path that I can get to from my house on my bike. It's one that I ride a lot, but as I said earlier, it had been raining that day. So as you can tell, the path is a little muddy in places, a little bit slick. Some of those rocks I'm riding over are a bit slippery. So I come around the corner down here, and I promise this was not part of my testing plan. But as I'm coming down this downhill, I come around this corner, and I flip over the front handlebars of the bike. So that's going to happen right here in just a few seconds. Yep, it's right at the stump, and down I go. Now that was not planned. I had the Icon still strapped to the handlebars though, and it kept playing, and it was completely unfazed, even though I injured myself a little bit. I did finish my ride, you know, everything was alright. I sped this one up a lot so we can get home really quickly, just to show you where the Icon was and what kind of state I was in when I got home. But it was great because I could ride my bike freely, didn't have to worry about anything in my ears, and I could hear the music, and I was totally confident in the speaker being just fine. So there I am, and as you can see, the Soundcore Icon is still strapped onto the bike. That strap is totally bulletproof. I love it, and it doesn't have any problems at all. And as you can see, the Soundcore Icon is in great shape. I can't say the same for myself. As you can see there, I sustained a little bit of an injury, and that was all right though. I got myself cleaned up and moved on to the next thing, which was paddleboarding. So I went out to the lake and went paddleboarding, and I decided that I was going to see just how waterproof and floatable this thing is. So here I am. There's the Icon. It's playing. I threw it over my shoulder into the lake off of my paddleboard. And then I put the GoPro down on the paddleboard, paddled over there to have a look at it and see how it was doing. And here it comes. It's floating there in the water. And there it is, working just fine. So, and I thought this was kind of neat. I didn't plan this either, but here's the end of the song that I was listening to right there as I was paddling around. That was really nice. So, it's... one thing I would say, if you're going to be in dark water like this, like in a river or a lake, get the orange one, because the black one was hard to see in the water. From this angle, you can see it though pretty well. It's underwater there, and as you can see, I tossed it in and put the GoPro underwater with it, just to see what it looked like from under the water, and it was playing just fine after that, and it's still doing great. So the next thing I did was I went out to the hot springs because I wanted to have a drink and hang out in the hot springs, and of course my Icon came along with me. There it is, hanging by the pool, sitting on a rock. You know, it was just fine. And then I spent a couple hours in the hot springs and hung out with some friends, and then I needed to go to the brewery, of course. So I took it with me to the brewery, and you can see that there it is. Hanging out with me on the porch of the brewery. Really nice day to be outside having a beer. So one thing that I want to say about the Soundcore Icon, let me just go through some of the things that I really like. First of all, it's really waterproof. Second of all, that strap is totally bulletproof. Third of all, the controls on the exterior are awesome. So when you're in a place where you've got water around, you want to be able to keep your phone or your tablet or whatever it is in that waterproof bag and control the music, like switch tracks and make the volume go up and down without having to get your phone out of the waterproof whatever it's in. So I really like that the Icon has the controls on the outside, because I can manage the music without needing to get my phone out. As a paddleboarder, this is really important because being on a paddleboard, there's not a lot of space to hold things, and it's kind of weird to try and get your phone out and undo a dry bag when you're on a paddleboard. So I really appreciate that the Icon has controls on the outside. Of course, it's very durable. You saw I pulled it behind my bike for about a quarter mile. As there was some cosmetic damage, you can probably, I'll show it to you right here. You might be able to see it there if you get really close. There's some cosmetic damage on that plastic part, and then there's some cosmetic damage on that fabric. So, again, I wouldn't recommend dragging it behind your bike, but I wanted to do it for the review because I thought it'd be a neat thing to do. It does have solid base for a small form factor, and that's good. Everybody likes to have good base. The base up technology is actually pretty good. And it's light, and it's portable, and it's packable. That's one of the things I like about this. Not only can you hang it on things, you see I can take this off and hang it, you know, around a rail or around a handlebar or something. But it's also, the shape is great for sliding into a bag because it's fairly thin and it's got this like tapered in, and you can slide it down into a bag if you need to, or you could always just hang it on the outside of the bag with the strap. So there are some cons. I really do like this speaker, but there are a few cons. First of all, the sound balance is not great. This is not going to bother most users, though. Most people that are listening to like pop music or rap or even rock are going to be just fine with the sound quality coming out of this. But if you're a real audiophile that listens to classical music that you want to hear all the balance in, this isn't the speaker for you. You want to go with a higher quality sound than this one. The feet did come off. I know this is my fault, but these little rubber feet on the bottom are great because they're grabby, but they came off really easily. And I'm just going to super glue them back on, but that's definitely a con. And then the other thing, the sound gets really distorted when it gets soaked. It's like the water gets inside of that fabric, and it doesn't sound great. So I'm going to give you an example of that real quick. So here it is, playing some music, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it into the shower there, and you can hear that the sound gets distorted when it gets wet. So you can even see the bass sort of like making the water jump there, which is kind of a neat thing to watch. But you can tell the sound quality really goes down when it's soaked. Now, if you just wipe it off and get the water out of there, it sounds a lot better. So that's that's one thing that you need to be aware of. The sound does get distorted when it gets wet, but that's not a big deal. As long as you wipe it off, it's gonna sound a lot better. Once again, and finally, I don't really like the black color of this one. It's coming in orange. It's not available in the US yet. But if you're the kind of person who is going to be rafting or paddleboarding or kayaking with this thing, and you're going to be in a lake or a river or other natural ocean, other natural body of water, get the orange one because the black really blends in with the water. Once I tossed it out in the lake, it was a little bit difficult to find. So I would go with the orange one. I'm probably going to buy an orange one for myself for that exact reason. But overall, at the $50 price point, I think this is a really good deal. And it's got all-day battery life. I played it for my whole Saturday. I went on all these adventures with it. You can literally, it's super waterproof. You can drop it like you saw right in the water of the lake or whatever. And that strap's totally bulletproof. You can hang it on anything. And other than the sound balance, that's for true audiophiles. This isn't really the speaker for you. But for the average listener, you're really going to love this thing. So After spending a Saturday with Soundcore Icon, I've got to recommend it to you. I think it's a great product, and I think that you're really going to like it, and it's going to stand up to whatever you throw at it. So, is it really fun-proof? Yep, I have to say it is. All right, thanks a lot for watching.